Jackson Radio Show.
313,000 jobs created in February. The unemployment rate holds at 4.1% as 806,000 people enter the labor force. That is the largest one-month gain since 1983, 35 years. January revisions from 200,000 up to 239,000. December revision up from 160,000 to 175,000, a net gain of 54,000 jobs. The participation rate, again, up 63% as 806,000 people enter the labor force. The U6 holds steady at 8.2%. Average hourly wage growth falls to 2.6% year over year from 2.9%. The non-supervisory number, the majority of Americans saw wage growth year over year go from 2.4% up to 2.5%.
Trust me, I know those numbers stink. Welcome, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. It's the Kevin Jackson Show. Jobs, jobs, jobs. That's what Donald Trump tweeted, and rightfully so. But that doesn't satisfy the left. Remember what they told us? They said Trump won't win. But he won. They said Trump can't save Carrier. Barack Obama did. But Trump saved Carrier. They said Trump won't get tax reform. He did. They said Trump cannot destroy ISIS. He did. They said Trump cannot improve this economy. Jobs are not coming back to America. It's just a fake stock market, blah, blah, blah. He did it. They even said at the beginning the stock market would go down. It would be Armageddon if Trump got elected. And the stock market responded the opposite way and went through the roof. They said Donald Trump won't last a year. He'll be impeached. He'll be done. It'll be over. He's still here. They said Donald Trump can't do anything in the foreign policy initiatives, and that what he was doing when he threatened North Korea by saying, I got a bigger button and mine works, was going to be devastation, Armageddon to the foreign policy in dealing with North Korea. And what's North Korea doing? They tried their little campaign to make themselves look all, oh, we're nice and going to the Seoul Olympics. And that lasted, for a little bit, because MSNBC was like, oh, and NBC were like, oh, we love the North Koreans and starve their people. And now what's Kim Jong-un want? Hey, Mr. Trump, can we sit down and talk to one another? That sounds more Japanese, but anyway, he's now sitting down and wanting to talk to Donald Trump. I played that clip about the economy because we just talked about the economy. And I played that clip about the economy because that's the first thing that we should be shoring up, because that's what Donald Trump's going to use when he is talking to North Korea.
Negotiate. I would negotiate like crazy, and I'd make sure that we tried to get the best deal possible. But look, Tim, if a man walks up to you in a street in Washington, because this doesn't happen, of course, in New York, but if a man walks up and puts a gun to your head and says, give me your money, wouldn't you rather know where he's coming from before he had the gun in his hand? And these people in 3 or 4 years are going to be having nuclear weapons. They're going to have those weapons pointed all over the world and specifically at the United States. And wouldn't you be better off solving this really potentially unbelievable, and the biggest problem, I mean, we can talk about the economy, we can talk about Social Security. The biggest problem this world has is nuclear proliferation. And we have a country out there in North Korea, which is sort of wacko, which is not a bunch of dummies, and they are going out and they are developing nuclear weapons. And they're not doing it because they're having fun doing it. They're doing it for a reason. And wouldn't it be good to sit down and really negotiate something, and ideally negotiate? Now, if that negotiation doesn't work, you better solve the problem now than solve it later, Tim. And you know it, and every politician knows it, and nobody wants to talk about it. Jimmy Carter, who I really like, and he went over there. It was so soft. These people are laughing at us.
The former general of the Air Force, Merrill McPeak, the former Secretary of Defense, Les Aspin, said you could not launch a preemptive strike against North Korea because the nuclear fallout could be devastating to the Asian Peninsula.
I'm not talking about us using nuclear weapons. I'm saying that they have areas where they're developing missiles.
No, but taking out their nuclear potential would create a fallout.
Tim, do you know that this country went out and gave them nuclear reactors free fuel for 10 years. We virtually tried to bribe them into stopping, and they're continuing to do what they're doing, and they're laughing at us. They think we're a bunch of dummies.
Welcome back. Donald Trump is consistent. That was in 1999. And as I said, our economy is what Trump's going to use. Now, I want you to think about this. Let me give you some numbers. The gross domestic product, the estimated gross domestic product of North Korea is somewhere around $28 billion. That's the estimate. The Japanese, and you can only estimate because you don't really know what they're doing. Now, prior to this, they said the average has been less than $20 billion. In other words, this may be too high. $28 billion. That's a rounding error in the U.S. economy. Why is Trump? I want you to think about the level of desperation North Korea it has to get to. $28 billion. I don't know how many people there are in North Korea. I don't know what their infrastructure is. I've never been. Neither have any of us. But I know this. It's dark at night. I've seen the satellite pictures. So you got this country that's running on a rounding error for us. I don't know how many people they have, but that $28 billion is not enough to keep a country going. It's the 125th country in the world based on GDP. And given that it's supposedly a civilized country, it is the worst of the, quote, civilized countries, meaning people that have the wherewithal to do a better job by its people. If you can build a nuclear bomb, you can build a lot of things. You can find something to export from your country. North Korea can't. So it's in horrible shape. We've got sanctions on top of sanctions. The only thing this guy has is saber rattling. And what I can tell you is this. Trump knows there's pretty much the next steps that we take, shut North Korea down. We starve them out. And that's going to kill the people, not necessarily Kim Jong-un. So we've done about all we can do with that. Now the thing becomes, you let us come in here and do right by us, and we want to build your economy, man. We need good trading partners. Trust me, South Korea and North Korea would love to be selling each other goods. I tell people all the time, you look at these undeveloped countries. How long have these countries been underdeveloped or undeveloped? How long have they not had running water in, I don't know, how many places in Africa? How many countries in Africa don't even have the basics that we have, basic infrastructure? Can you imagine if Africa were to take money, put in basic infrastructure, put in governments that really gave a crap about the people, and got that economy moving? And so suddenly we've got people that want American entertainment. They want our cars. They want our couture, and they can afford it. And in turn, we want to visit and disperse our dollars in terms of tourism over to see. I mean, trust me when I tell you, Africa is an amazing place. You want to go. So imagine that. So you're touring over there. Then suddenly there's trade. Hey, you guys are making this product. We can sell that in the United States and vice versa. It isn't a finite pie here. A big part of the world is completely unproductive. All it does is exist. It wakes up in the morning only to live, just to live another day. It's not producing anything. It's not consuming anything. It's just existing. I mean, that's the best way to put it. Half of the world exists. So when you think about gross domestic products, the United States theoretically has the largest. If you use one indices, if you go by PPP, China's is larger, but not per capita. So we're the largest economy in the world. Practically everybody in the United States is a producer. I mean, theoretically. Many of us produce much more, so we take up for the slackers. But in Africa, in many of the countries in Africa, there's nobody to take up for the slackers. They just exist. In areas of India, they exist, even though India's GDP is higher than ours. And so you've got practically the entire North Korean peninsula, a North Korean country, that does nothing but exist. And we're saying, look, South Korea existed for a long time, but now look at it. There's your litmus test. There's what capitalism can do. You can do the same thing, Kim Jong-un. The only thing it's going to require is for you to let go, bro. Come on now. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. I don't know what Trump's going to say to this clown. But I know this, the leftists are afraid because Donald Trump got this sucker to come to the table. And here's what Aaron Burnett of CNN had to say about that.
Just an extraordinary evening and, of course, opening the door to the big question. If President Trump can truly solve this problem, that would be going down as a great president. And there's no way around that. That is the reality here.
That's CNN coming to the realization that, you know what, this is a guy that's doing things that other presidents haven't been able to do or don't appear to want to do, and he's making it happen. Now, I don't know if they're just trying to get the moniker of fake news off of him, but that's a big admission.
Kevin Jackson
on the Black Sphere Radio Network.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177. Or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.